Alright, so we're down to one more video, this one and possibly one more before we are ready to go to the field with the corn planter. So stay tuned, there's a lot in this video from using a lathe. I didn't get the milling machine, and we actually folded up in the end, so check it out.
So we're running the lathe today. John Deere sent me these parts, which would be great, except this big gaping hole. And there's a bushing that's supposed to go in there. So I have to make my own bushings, and I'm going to weld them in. I'm making them out of stainless steel because that's the only shaft that I have that'll fit that. So we're just getting her down to the right size, you know. And when we do that, then I'm going to bore a 7/8 inch hole, which Timothy's supposed to have a 7/8 inch drill bit for me that I can put on this headstock there. And ooh, got some hot ass stuff, man. Get all the way to the end and bam. Run her back down. I could go the opposite direction over there. So 1, 2, 3. We know what size it is. I've mic'd it out, and there it is. So I had this piece of a stainless steel shaft in there. And what I'm going to do, or what I am doing, is I'm turning it down into a bushing, and I have a 7/8 inch drill bit here that it should probably be a little sharper than what it is, but like a 7/8 inch bit. I'm going to put that bad boy in there, and I'm going to bore it, and then I'm going to cut 4 bushings for the 4 drives, and I'm going to press them in with the press that's out in the shop. That's what I'm doing. So I've got my diameter correct. I know I do. I had that slightly smaller than it should have been. This one here is perfect. Right where I need it. So we're good. Right, Tim? Yes. Well, we'll get this done here. I'll change speeds and do that. And then you'll see the process of putting the bushing inside here. And then I have to make my own drive shaft for the corn planter, because this John Deere corn planter is a bit of an abomination. It is a 7,000 12-row rigid that has a front fold, wing fold kit. Okay. So this is stainless steel. This is cast iron. Now I was afraid if I made it too big, if I made it too big and I had to press it into the cast iron, I was afraid that it would probably break the cast iron. So I have some red Loctite here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, there's this little valley in here, and I don't know what the hell John Deere was thinking with this thing, but I'll fill that valley up with Loctite, right, as you can see, and then I'm going to set it on the bench, and you're going to watch me smack that thing in. There's a piece of aluminum Timothy was fooling with earlier, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get that in there with that. Well, I have a little vise here. It's for the milling machine, so I'm going to have to work quickly. But for the most part, it's going right in. I ain't liking it. It's going too easy, but that's it. Job well done, maybe. There it is. So there is no, there it is, Loctite on, Loctite in. Looks good from my house. We knurled it. So that it would hold the Loctite in place. Like I said, this is cast iron, and this is stainless steel. John Deere sent me these things, and they had the wrong size shaft, and I didn't see any bushing or anything, so I just decided that we would break out the lathe. I didn't use the mill, but break out the lathe and just do some work. I've done that with these as well. See? So they're in there nice and tight with Loctite. And yeah, this one's still probably pretty warm yet. Yeah, there it is. So what I did was what we did, me and Timothy, was we bored them out. Bored it to 7/8. It should fit the new shaft. And it should work. So I'll meet you out in the shop and we'll start putting it together. Machining work, me and Tim's machining work, and how it turned out. It turned out quite well, actually. Now we're going to have the fun part. See, these things are only supposed to just float on this shaft. They're not supposed to be solid. They're not supposed to have anything but a float. And I've got one down on the other end that I've already assembled just for the fun of it, because there's a lot of weird things that has to happen to this corn planter in order for it to work properly. And one of them is I have to drill some holes, and I'll show you that in a minute. But this is it, okay? So this piece here gets bolted fast, and for some reason my 1/4 inch or 5/16 bolt is missing. And when you come around a corner, or one side speeds up and the other side slows down, this will actually, well, because it's all dry and nobody ever greased the damn thing, it's not clicking properly, but they'll just click right along. So this is the clutch, and then when you get caught up or it starts going fast, that's when it catches it. And there's Mr. McConnell. We're going to put him all over YouTube because he loves, see, that's what you get for sneaking up on me. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate this a little bit on this particular worn out part. This one's got some wear to it. I can't say that it's awful. We had to specially design the shaft, and we removed 2 bearings because of binding, which I'm not sure, well, I know that's why they were breaking. I'm not sure why they had 4 bearings in these wheels. It didn't make any sense to me, because what'd you do? Why isn't that in the right spot? That whole shaft should go. What do we got? The bearing is not on backwards, no. Oh, I know what's the matter. Okay, so we're just going to soak this up overnight. With Tim's concoction here is basically seafoam, Marvel's mystery oil, and some other stuff. And it seems to get in there and loosen stuff up. Not much more I can do there to get that thing corrected, other than to slide that over, which is no big deal. It's no big deal. I can do just about anything I want right there. Anyway, just need to move it over like a 1/4 of an inch. That's all. And as long as it's floating on there, it will align itself. So yeah, and that'll be okay. As far as I'm concerned, it'll be okay. Hopefully those shafts aren't bent. I do see that there's some issues here with this coupler, which to me, no big deal. I can turn that by hand. I'm just going to bore them out to a bigger thing and actually run like into a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to run 1/4 inch cotter keys in there. They're soft enough in case there's an issue you can break them. But yeah, so that's that. Got to obviously put the down pressure springs on and finish up the other side tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last I will have to work on this thing. I'm going to put 2 new bearings in there, one there and one there, knock out those 2 old ones. There's 3 old ones there. Knock those out of the way and pop those wheels off. I have new drive sprockets for these wheels. This corn planter has only been driven from the right-hand side for a while. They took parts off of there, so yeah, interesting. But I think we're doing pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with the work that we did today. I know this will work just fine. Anyway, thanks for watching. See ya later. My soup is ready. All right. Raise it up. Row units are good. Fold it up. properly.
Yeah, so the 230 comments on this video. So David Stadden, Wesley, great video as always. Had an ad break appear in this one, and I had that for a while. The algorithm must like what you're doing. Possibly. I mean, nobody else does. Dennis Timbrell, are you planting one variety of corn or more? Many more, actually. I don't know how many more, maybe 4, possibly 5 different varieties, depending on the weather. I haven't got them all chosen yet. My seed dealer has already said, don't worry, there's plenty of seed corn on the market, which means there's going to be less corn planted this year. Okay, so Maxwell Strong has like 7 different comments, and I figure he is worth a reply with the one comment. The other comments are whatever. He says, what brand of combines do you like and don't like? Well, this may surprise you. I don't particularly care for the John Deere combine. I've ran one. It was an older one, by the way. But they're just, I don't like Gleaner, and I don't like John Deere. Case IH, Axle Flows, great combines. New Holland TRs. I have a TR96. Ran TR97s. Got the opportunity to be in a TR99 back when it was up against I think it was a 9610 John Deere or something like that. Same genre. I think it was a 9610 or a 95. No, it was the big one. It was a 96 something. Maybe it was a 9650. It was something like that. And the New Holland TR99 just ate that thing for lunch in speed, cleanness of grain, and less grain left behind. So I'm a New Holland fan, and when it comes to combines, along with Jeff Ramon, and he really likes his. But yeah, John Deere, no. John Deere, no. Samuel Walsh. Don't listen to bad comments on the corn planter. It is great. The same as our planter. Keep up the work and videos. Okay, so I want to talk about this corn planter a little bit. Now, I've watched some other farming channels, and I don't generally watch too many. But Larson Farms was on, and the kids were rebuilding the row units and stuff in their heated shop with the pit and all that. And I was like, man, somebody's going to fall down and hurt themselves in that pit. But, you know, that's just my opinion there. But they were talking about going 10 miles an hour with that corn planter. If you went 10 mile an hour here in New Jersey with a corn planter, you wouldn't have a corn planter. You wouldn't have much of a corn planter by the time you were done. Wouldn't matter if it was brand new, hot off the line. You wouldn't even get seed in the ground, because we have a thing out here, they're called rocks. Yeah, rocks. Now, not every farm has rocks, but at least one field on every farm has rocks. And if you're going 10 miles an hour, I'm telling you right now, you are not going to have a corn planter. So 4 to 5 miles per hour. Before with the 4-row corn planter, I would go about 5 miles an hour. This one here, I'm going to slow it down even more. I'm going to go about 4.5 miles an hour, because I'm going 2/3 faster than I was with the 4-row. And yeah, it'll be a nice, slow, accurate planting depth, because rocks will bounce those row units right out of the ground. You'll see lids fly off even at 5 miles an hour if you hit a rock. So 10 mile an hour, out of the question. These planters are excellent for our area. Even if you plow, just the same thing. Arnold Rampai. That writing a book thing has crossed my mind many times as well. And I think there's enough farmers out here that we could have like a 300-page book with each chapter in it as to the horrors of divorce that was just broadside these guys. You know, myself, you, and I've heard so many more stories about guys that wake up one morning to go milk the cows, and the next thing there's the cops are in the driveway saying that, hey, you know, he beat me up, and there she is with bruises all over her face where she fell down the damn stairs. And, you know, I've had that. I had a guy tell me that one time. I was like, get the hell out of here. He gets arrested. Nobody milked the cows. What a mess. Neighbors came to bail him out. But there is plenty of horror stories out there. A book, each chapter, different farmer telling their horror stories. about divorce. Diecaster, Afro engineering? What's that? Well, it's a polite way of saying nigger rig. You see, the word nigger is only accepted in darker skin tone people, but white people aren't allowed to say it. So we say Afro engineering. It is a nice way of saying nigger rig. So there you go. And I'm sure YouTube isn't going to like what I just said. It has nothing to do with black people either, just so you know. Okay, so this is the last one I'm going to do. Steve Farrow. Have a set of those wrenches, bought them about 40 years ago. They work great. Another person asked me about these wrenches, and they asked what brand they were. They are Craftsman. I bought them in Phillipsburg. I think I bought those the day that I got married in 1991. You see, my best man was a little guy. He's still a little guy. He's a little guy. And when his tuxedo came in, he looked like they got a tuxedo for a 400-pound guy to put on a 120-pound guy. So we had to go to the Phillipsburg formal wear place to get him fitted for a different tuxedo for the wedding. And while he was getting fitted, I ran down to Sears and I bought some drift pins and I bought some wrenches, and those 2 wrenches were in that pack. So Craftsman, you can still buy them, I believe. They're not wildly popular, but I'm sure somewhere I'm sure Sears still has them. Okay, so I lied. Old Nam Grunt. He says, Wes, it's a lot calmer with you and T. She's a pretty lady and glad to hear you're together. Or you together. Okay, so yeah, she is a beautiful woman. She has an awesome sense of humor. And yesterday, we were in the shop and she had everybody laughing, but my camera wasn't on. And I think I'm just going to have her on candid camera all the time because it is funny. She is funny. I might have it on the security cam, though. Maybe I'll look there.